All right, this is part 2 of 3.1. So in class, we talked about, if you were sitting at your table in class, what are some things you could do to decorate your table? And some ideas that people came up with is you could put a tablecloth on it. Someone recommended you could paint it with like the dry erase paint. So when it dries, you can actually use marker on it that erases. So you could paint it. You could put a border or curtain around it. That kind of stuff. And so when we talked about that, then my question is, well, what kind of measurements would you need to take in order to do that? And so we measured the length, width, and height of the table. Oh, the other thing is I talked about, this was my contribution as well, what if we pictured it, instead of a table, we pictured it as a box that we could fill up with stuff. And so consider as a box with the top as the lid. And I did that so we can consider another type of measurement. And so as we talked about that, there were 3 different types of calculations we could do. If we needed to paint it, the top, we would need to know the area, which is going to be the length times the width. So we'll say L for length, W for width, and of course H for height. If you were to put a border around it or a curtain, you would need the perimeter, which is you add up all the sides. I don't know that we need a formula for that. And then the last was the volume. If we treated it like a box with the top as the lid, we would calculate the volume, which is the length times the width times the height. And then we did measurements in both centimeters and inches. And so with those measurements, we calculated all 3 of these things.